If you plan to build your legs and get a stronger quads, glutes, and hamstrings, you need to engage your legs with free weight training. Free weight trainings are very important. If you just rely on Smith machine with the leg press or leg extension crawls, you have limitations and you probably won't get strong as lifting a weight as a free weight. Most of the people that use powerlifting, they always use a free weight. And barbells, one of the most key to build your legs, especially flexibility of your knees. Your knees have to go through the full range of motion in order to get stronger, and you build more power in your ligaments, especially your PCLS or ACLS of your knees and kneecaps flexibility. So I recommend you use a lot of free weight. Front squat is one of the things that helps your knees, your quads, your hamstring, your glutes get engaged. Do not try to go heavy on free weight training. Practice on the weight that you can handle. Sometimes you can shock your body with a little bit weight. If you couldn't handle it, make sure drop the weight to the weight that you can lift up, because you go against the gravity. There is no cheating here. It's straightforward. You have to be strong enough to upload the weight on your clavicles and do the front squat with it. People that they're not using free weight training, they usually they're very weaker, and when they come to the bar, they have no mobility on their lower back. They're very stiff. They can't even sit properly because they ended up with bad forms, because they have never ever done any mobility for the lower back, the glutes, and they always complain, oh, I can't do it, because they have no mobility. So I recommend you use a free weight. Next will be a lower bar back squat after the front squat. The lower back squat is very important. Make sure you keep your knees perpendicular to your toes. Do not let your knees pass your toes, and keep the weight in the same form that you're straight going down and up with the same pass. Do not change the pass. Means keep your bar straight up and down, and during the squat, make sure you always hold your breath, touch your core as you're going down. Don't let your body breathe in during the squat when you're going down, and breathe out when you're going up. Remember, breathe in, hold it, and when you go up, breathe out. If you breathe out when you're going down, you will get lower back pain immediately, permanently, because your core is weak. It sounds like a flat tire. So when you fill out the stomach with air, your stomach will look like a full tires of air. So you have more power to push the weight back. Don't forget to touch your glutes and squeeze your pelvis in, not out. Okay, so squat is very crucial for your legs. Imagine you go about 200 pounds leg press on a Smith machine. That sounds so easy, but when you come to 200 pounds free weight squat, that 200 pounds to you sounds like 1,000 pounds, because you have to upload and lift the weight based on the gravity and your physics, and the body get very, very challenging at that moment. So your body start to have a lot of pain, nerves will fire in, and your muscle will start to get shocked. That's why I said free weight training is the number one for your body. And also it's a great cardiovascular. Basically, you don't need to do any running or things or cardiac training. This is real cardio. It helps you heart get proper pump, proper contractions. You get better blood flow to your body. Your legs, imagine that lifting all entire that weight, the legs get a lot of tensions. Your calves get powerful. When you're going home, you feel like, when you're touching the legs, you feel like iron, very powerful. But when you're performing the Smith machine, you don't have anything. You feel like you never trained. So I recommend you use all the time free weight. Free weight is number one for your body. Imagine the farmers. Farmers always lifting the weight, lifting all the equipments in the farms, pulling, pushing. Their physics is very strong. If you compare one farmer physics to people that sit in the office or in the city, completely see what's the difference. The farm is stronger, powerful, and they live sometimes up to 100 years. But people live in the city because they never use their physics. They're all diabetics, they get cardiac failure, they get dementia, Alzheimer, because the body is weak. They are like a paper, printing paper. They're blank. They have nothing. But because they use the physics. So I recommend you start lifting the weight. And if you get older, you need a bone density. Your pelvis, your hips need to build up in order to prevent you from osteoporosis, arthritis. So weight training is essential, crucial for every single people on this planet. And make you feel confidence. Next exercise will be the lunge. I usually prefer lunge in a stationary lunge, and trying to keep my knees perpendicular to my toes. Do not pass the knees above your toes. Spread out your legs apart and perform that lunges. Lunges is very important because your glutes and your front quads, vastus, and also your calves get engaged. After the lunge, make sure perform some good morning with the weight. Good morning helps your lower back get completely engaged and get stronger for every set. Don't go heavy on good morning, but perform it post lunges because your back is sore, and that give you more taxing, so your back is strong. So your squat, it's completely will be on 4 different exercises. Now I recommend you start squat with the front squat and back squat. Usually prefer a lower bar. That means you keep the bar on your scapula bone. And the same thing you perform for your lunge, same thing, you keep the bar on your scapula as a lower bar, and you perform the lunges. Make sure you have the same pass, so you're not swing too much when you're lifting the weight. Engage your quads instead of engaging something else. You gotta feel that tension on your muscles. If you don't feel that you're working on your muscles, and your quads, your legs, hamstring, that means you're doing something wrong here. After legs, I perform some arms. So one of the exercises I perform is incline dumbbell bicep curls. Dumbbell bicep curls, incline. It's very important because you isolated your bicep by keeping your shoulders back behind your chest, and you engage in your biceps in that form, that position on incline bench. So you get more blood flow to your biceps. Try to repeat this exercise by 4 sets of 8 to 12. Okay, and then try to always go simultaneously, use both hands together. Don't go one arm at a time, because you engage both biceps together. It helps you get symmetrical form biceps, not one get bigger, one get smaller. And if you feel sliding, try to keep your legs at the top of end of the bench, so you keep your back completely tight. This exercise is one of the favorite exercises in my bicep curl. This is basically Arnold Schwarzenegger used to perform this exercise too. It helps your bicep getting strong. And performing this biceps at the first exercise for your biceps is essential because it keeps your arms get warmer faster. And after this, you can perform other biceps. It depends on your preference. I usually post this exercise, prefer do the triceps that I'm going to show you in a few seconds. I usually use a tricep as a skull press or skull crusher. I use an easy bar. Easy bar is very important because it doesn't hurt your forearms, and keep the bar behind your head, and make sure the bar stays up past. Do not bring it above your chest. And you gotta feel your tricep engaging. If you don't feel your triceps engaging, and here means you're doing it wrong. And keep your elbows tight as possible. Do not let them flare out. Okay, that helps you get more triceps. I prefer to do 4 sets of a skull crusher. Skull crusher, it's my first tricep. I usually prefer the skull crusher than the other Smith machine. I'm not really a fan of any Smith machine or cables. I prefer to do more like powerlifting style. By lifting the weight, you feel more challenging. It sounds like more athletic. A lot of people always say, oh, I get elbow pain, but probably they flare the elbow, they put too much pressure on the elbows. If you know how to perform this exercise, trust me, one of the best exercises for your tricep, which everyone recommended as a professional powerlifter that I used to be, and now I'm kind of older. I always suggest that people prefer to a scalp brush. The second scalp brush is incline scalp brushes with a flat bar, not easy bar. This one is a little bit harder, but you have to be on incline position. Use a bar that weight that you can control. This one, it helps you go put more tension on your inner triceps by pulling the bar right behind your head. It's similar to scalp crush, but you're standing on the higher position of incline. And try to keep your core tight as possible. The next exercise, I prefer to use a pair of dumbbells. Dumbbells are good for tricep as an isolated separately. Again, make sure the dumbbells sit behind your ear lines. And as soon you're going down, try to reverse your pinky out when you're coming back up. This exercise is challenging too. Use a weight that you can manage. Don't go light on this kind of weight. Try to go heavier. Basically, I usually prefer 30 to 35 pounds each hand. It gives me more challenge. With the light, it doesn't give me too much tension. So it also helps your bench get stronger. So prefer to use a pair of dumbbells. Make sure lay on your back and keep your chest up. Imagine you're doing a bench press, but keep your shoulders locked, scapula tight, and then let the dumbbells slowly go down by the ear line. Remember, your ear line is the best side of your target in order to put tension on your triceps. So I recommend you practice on this kind of exercises in order to gain more faster muscle rather than just use a Smith machine. Stop using a Smith machine because you limit your range of motion. Thanks.